composition they chose to go for this game.
And I'm looking on both sides. I see a lot of healing. You got a Terra, you got a Camazotz, Guan Yu, Baron, Cupid on the other side. Keep your eyes on anti-heal as well. Solar Scarabs with Slaney out of the solo lane up against the Atlantis Leviathans. Game number 1 kicking off right now with J-Mac and Goremizer.
Yeah, thank you so much, Dave, and hurry over on the desk. And yes, you heard that right. If you're just now tuning in, Slaney is stepping into the solo lane for game number 1.
I'm really excited about that prospect if I'm Panatom. Trying to get the beads, trying to kind of convince Baronic, like, I'm going to go for this without you actually having to then ult, would have been a big win for them. And again, anything like that where you can get the beads is going to open up a lot for the jungler.
No, first blood, one more swoop from the bat out of hell, and Haddix will claim the first kill of the game onto the
beads
coach.
go down, and in some cases, even if the beads aren't down, they're going to be able to have the chase down potential they need.
Zatman finds 2 with the ult, dashes just out of range of the coffin, but Shinzo's the one in danger, gets to transform into the Camazotz, cannot get up into the sky in time. The leap gets caught by the Typhoon on the tail end, and the Solar Scarabs are able to find their first kill of the game.
Zap was able to escape the coffin, but ultimately you still get a kill and you get it onto the mid laner. I think shutting down Shinto specifically is going to be a very important factor for winning this game, and that's going to need to be continued.
Ult up for Panatom. He grabbed Yarkor, who's pretty healthy, pretty tanky. Needs a little bit of extra assistance from Zatman and the rest of the crew. And Panatom will be able to clean up the kill, grab himself his first of the game.
Side of things, you know, Interceptor comes into the equation. Pressure around that is going to be very important. But otherwise, I think it is very much just a pause, see what they can do against each other. Maybe a solo kill will happen, but it might just be mid lane all the way for the junglers.
No beads on Sam on landing. Shinto's there with a transform into the Camazotz. Nothing more needed besides a final screech to seal the deal and nail a 3rd kill for Leviathans. Maybe a 4th one. Bat out of hell. Needs a couple of swoops to get it this time. Does find the 2 on the tail end of it. And it's a 2nd solo kill for the solo laner. Panatom rotating over just to see what's going on. More healing for the amount of healing that a Camazotz already get, which is absurd. Just between Vampire Bats, Devour whenever he goes with the leap, and if he sits in a blood pool. Let's give him a little bit of extra HP across the way. Panatom does get rooted by Yarkor. Ult from Baronic doesn't find anything, and Slaney will use his ult to disengage. Back to the Scorpion. Rong Yu is willing to dive in. Doesn't steal the Scorpion. Instead, Slaney gets picked up. Up into the sky he goes, and when he lands down into the waiting arms of 4 Leviathans players, it's Shinto who grabs the kill for himself, gives him 2 of the game, puts 5 up for the lead. In the words of Paul, I'm just gaming.
Yeah.
He is just gaming. Though the Solar Scarabs, a proactive play from them.
I like that.
Grabs a Cold Fury, and that's huge. Should only lose Yarkor in this. And that's an easy trade out for the Scarabs. They're down in gold. The heal doesn't go through. Shinto picks up a killing spree. Probably not the most ideal player for the Scarabs to have to give that kill over to. But that's the kind of plays they need. You're down. The real winner here.
Haddix. Yeah, I'm going to.
2-0-1.
Yeah, Haddix.
2-1. Maybe a little bit more fighting in mid. Sam caught out. And the Typhoon hits 3, but he's already in the grave by the time that one goes off. Shinto credit to the kill. Baronic now, the one to be attacked by Haddix, who will just sit in the middle of the turret and soak up as much damage as he can, but hasn't been too much. Haddix has bat out of hell. Does get up into it in time. It says Rong Yu pulled to the coffin, but not much more beyond there. Levi's find another pick, this time on the jungler.
I think there was no remorse there. I have to imagine no remorse from Haddix, leaving them behind with the Sash coming in. Look, yeah, they're going to kill Rong Yu, but they might lose more.
Beads gone from Baronic. Age is also used, but the rest of his HP, a Rong Yu trade for 4 at the end of the day. 3 in the immediate fight, 1 from Sam on the initial pick. The Atlantis Leviathans.
Tower killers, things like that. Nothing too crazy that would be coming out of it.
Shinto had the Aegis, so wouldn't have died to the Vulcan ult. Instead, transforms into the Baron, pulls in 1 to the coffin. And Shinto is still alive during all of this one. Will not go down. The damage not high enough from Yarkor. It's Baronic the first fall in the team fight, but Slaney is able to grab Shinto. Get some good damage up against Haddix, but now that Zatman's rotated through, Aegis gone from Stewart, Haddix leaps in, but a big heal from Yarkor will keep Stewart alive in the fight.
That might have been the biggest hedgehog I've ever seen. They've got Baronic. Baronic's about to have ult. That, to me, is maybe the big opener for the Scarabs.
Zatman beads and dashes in 1 more auto. In a 2v1 situation, Zatman has no fear dashing into Stewart, and why would he? Level 17,
to the Vulcan. And that might be an option for him. Fire Giant's already at half health. Leviathans are going to try to push this their way.
Yeah, there's the problem with trying to go with your Vulcan is now he's being zoned away by Haddix, though. In the back line, not going to find it. Sam tried to steal Fire Giant, but it gets picked up by the Leviathan. Shinto gets Yarkor. Baronic gets soloed by Haddix in the mid lane. Slaney goes down trying to steal the Fire Giant, unsuccessful in that regard as well. And Sam on the wrong side of the jungle could be paying for the sins, though. He's got some good gap distance that can be made up against Panatom. Panatom will still continue the chase. I thought maybe he would have given up by now, but no reason not to stop.
Of the chat won't know what it means.
Chat, if you don't know what it means, go look it up.
Well, I was going to then compare it and say, well, it's kind of like Caddy Corner, but that's also enough.
That also doesn't help.
That doesn't help too much.
That doesn't help too much. Yarkor needs some help up against Haddix and Panatom. I think these guys get 2v4, and they're trying to do their best right now. Panatom has to use the ult defensively. Panatom goes down, but it's a double kill for Haddix. Maybe even make it a triple kill. As Shinto dives in, it's the double Camazotz beating down the mid laner. 3 gone. And the Leviathans, they're just on a rampage on the right side of the map. The other 2 dual laners, they're on the left side, split pushing a Phoenix of their own up against Slaney, who it's 1v2 on either side and not going to win on either front.
Yeah, I think this is just, again, a good show of force. Honestly, 20 seconds without anybody, if they get another kill staggered out as hard as it is, Leviathans might just be able to go for the end here. They still got Fire Giant for a minute.
And for now, Haddix is prioritizing zoning the Solar Scarabs away. One lone baddie
Sam.
boy against 4 Solar Scarabs. Yarkor down to a quarter. Sam looping around the backside, but Shinto has already found the first pick. Wrong Yu has found the second. And Sam, late to the party, is only watching as it's body bags for the rest of his team. Baronic chased out by Shinto. Haddix picks up one. Shinto grabs another. Slaney, the last one alive. It's a triple kill for Shinto. Extra kills for Haddix and the rest of the squad. And the Atlantis Leviathans in 25 will march down the mid lane and take game number 1 of the set.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what game 2 looks like. Mainly because it's going to be a different landscape. They're going to have Scary D in, and that's just going to be more entertaining. I think in my eyes, this one, that was a must-win by the Leviathans.
Trying to one-shot them or being patient and executing the tanks. I think either way will work for him.
Well, the Atlantis Leviathans had a fantastic game number 1. Scary D back in the solo lane for the Solar Scarabs. Game number 2, Atlantis Leviathans, Solar Scarabs with J-Mac and Gormizer.
Thank you so much. And hopefully for the Solar Scarabs, this one can work out maybe just a little bit better now that they've got their soul laner back in the lane. And you had the number for a score for that Thanatos game.
Season 7, Phase 2, Week 7, against the Renegades. On Thanatos, Sam went 20, 11, and 10. And that was the last triple-double that we got to see in the SPL.
Season
and even just looking at the laning phase and how frustrating it's going to be with dealing with the amount of clear that Terra and Ishtar are going to bring to the lane. I mean, Cupid is lucky that he got those buffs, not too long ago.
Oh, Sam missed the scythe, loses the beads, has the silence, needs some help from Scary D if he wants to get away, but the ring toss will slow down Sam. But can Panatom close the gap? He doesn't need it. It's Haddix who will breathe on Sam for soccer, take him down. First blood goes to Leviathan solo again.
Honestly, I'm kind of surprised. I feel like Panatom, especially with Sash, whether or not they start using it for that purpose or not, we'll I guess end up seeing that one as time goes on. But otherwise, you end up in a position like that.
Oh, Yarkor stuck between 3 as Shinto transformed into Cupid for a Fields of Love and will grab a kill of his own. 2 now for the Leviathans, 1 for the mid laner, 1 for the solo laner. And what an
proactive play early on, they could get their feet back under them.
In the last game, they got it this time. Solar Scarabs get the Pyromancer, and they get out. How far can they get out is the question. Transformed by Haddix, chasing down Baronic. But does Haddix have the damage to take him down with some help of Shinto? The answer to that question is yes. Now it's Scary D and Yarkor trying to fight. Double knockup from the Cthulhu once again. Shinto finds the double kill. The Leviathans find 2 picks after the Pyro goes to the Scarabs.
I was honestly wondering what Shinto was going to transform into because I saw the Morgan ult going in that it was very easy to collapse in, and losing Baronic, losing Hardcore for the Pyromancer already doesn't feel like it's worthwhile.
Up in the sky, Panatom has Stewart on landing. Zapman has the backup, the extra CC, but Panatom will pay with his life, so it's a 1-1 trade at the Gold Fury, worthwhile for Leviathan, should everybody else be able to get out of that fight, but there's the combo potential that you have.
Leviathans just jumped ahead.
If it weren't for that body block by Scary D, could have maybe seen a potential kill on the Sam for Soccer. Though ult was still up for the Thanatos, maybe he could have been able to get out of there, but the damage output that Haddix is putting out so far with this Cthulhu. Pythax piece, first item. Panatom has Baronic. That should be a kill, maybe one more auto whenever he lands, and he'll grab it. But can they turn this into a trade, a 1-for-1? Panatom picked up, thrown against the wall. Does not make it out of there. That's a kill for Sam for Soccer, and a much needed one for the Scarabs.
Yeah, and much needed is the best way to describe it, right? In terms of team fights and even just sheer zone control, they're going to get a free Fire Giant within the next like 3-4 minutes and not even have to think twice about it.
Slightly better position for the Scarabs in this game. You know, last time around here it was, well, death for Sam. Never mind there. Not great position for him. But I mean, around this time last game, it was nearly 10,000 at this point. We're sitting just shy of 6K with the Scorpion being taken, but a Fire Giant much earlier by the Leviathan, Scaredy up in the sky, and everybody else waiting for when he crashes down. Too much damage, too much CC, even the Cavalry will not save Scary D. Stewart and Yarkor recognizing nothing we can do over there. Fire Giant.
Confirm that you're not dead on arrival the minute you hit the ground. That already feels really good, and it at least keeps you safe.
Zapman beats Aegis. Heart Bomb. Turns around, finds the stun on the 3. But now it's Shinto who crashes in on the Thanatos. He's got to back away instantly. His health worse for wear. Shinto cannot find a stun until he does find 3 with the help of Haddix. Shinto still living through all of it to heal. Not quite enough at the end of the day. Yarkor able to take them down. But that is a 2-for-2 trade that the Scarabs so desperately needed. If they can get out of here and not lose anybody else, it'll be worthwhile. Maybe some help from Sam could be necessary to get Scary D out to try and bail out the solo laner. Yarkor with a great pull from the Gravity Well will be able to stop 3, but the slow, the constant CC, Scary D is doing everything in his power to get out of here. And with the Cavalry charge back up, he'll finally get out.
They force a lot of relics from the Scarabs there if you're the Leviathans, but honestly, any even trade at this state of the game with the way things are going, it's better for the Scarabs, right? I mean, you still lose a lot in that process, leading the way. They're going to be able to make a lot of space with the Cthulhu.
Shinto not even a part of the fight. Haddix goes up into the colossal form of his own. A crash down on the Zapman. All the focus on the Ishtar is good. It's a double stun from the grave by Zapman to slow down the push by the Scarabs, but a 5-man death ball to Farong Yu, and that should be enough to take down the support. The Leviathans try and make an aggressive play, but the Solar Scarabs turn it on its head.
I love that because Shinto's in mid, right? They're playing aggressively in a 4v5 in a place where they should not be, and the Scarabs punish them for it. And they punish them from behind. It looks incredible for them. And now they have to make sure they get this Fire Giant. They don't just die here.
Shinto transforms, goes up into the colossal form of his own. Descent to Madness is good. Haddix doesn't have his back up just yet. So it's just Shinto, but now Shinto has had the Bulwark proc on towards himself and is fighting in the middle of 5. Should go down. But again, another delay by the Leviathans to keep the Scarabs off of the Fire Giant. But now it's all 5 of them down on the Leviathans, or all 4 besides Haddix, and no ult available to him. This Fire Giant should go to the Scarabs unless Haddix can find a big steal here. He will not.
Weird fight, aggressive, almost overly aggressive in the jungle. I like what they're doing now, although I would personally prefer Shinto to be actually in the engagement and not in mid. But either way, it's given the Leviathan something to work with.
Fire Giant slowly going away. It is Enhanced Fire Giant. Haddix Descent into Madness, gets a heal for his team. Vulcan ult slams and puts him into execute threshold for Sam for Soccer to grab the first kill of the fight. But can Shinto find anything more? Cancels the stun, throws out the 2 instead. Finally, the Solar Scarabs back to see if they can find a Shinto. Astrolabe goes out. Pull will get the Magi's. Quick transform back out of Shinto. Now he's the one surrounded. CC'd before he can get into Madness. Does pop and get up into the ultimate just in time. Swipes away, but Zapman has found Sam by teaming up with the rest of his squad.
They might get
over
Baronic.
to the right side. Baronic low. Rongyu chasing in. Haddix has ult. Will blink in and get a little bit of damage through. Shinto should de-transform and go back to Morrigan form now to rejoin the team with the Cavalry coming in by Scary D. How much will he get? No stun on the Zap. But the triple stun with his own ultimate in return, and now it's Haddix up in the Colossal form, but the Leviathans will not try and push that pressure, will not really poke. Interceptor will heal a little bit of it back. Panatom and Shinto will melt through the middle bird. Not even a chance for the Scarabs to retaliate against that one. So one Phoenix down. Help of the Polynomicon is hovered by Doug there for Shinto. And with a full build and currently sitting on a 3K red pot as well. This is not even the critical mass for Shinto. Cavalry out. Right bird down. Zapman will probably end up trading his life for 2 Phoenixes. Where will Sam crash down? Another double stun out of Zapman. He keeps finding these from the grave every single time. Shinto descends into madness. The Scarabs are fighting out of the base in a 4v5. Stewart is low. Rongyu is gone to the Fields of Love. Panatom misses the ultimate. And maybe Hags and Shinto can cause enough mayhem with a double Cthulhu. That is 1 down. That's going to be 2 down immediately afterward. It has turned around entirely. The Leviathans get a double kill for Panatom. They grab 4, make it 5 as Barana gets caught by Shinto. A double for the mid laner. The Leviathans will take game 2 in the set.
I mean, look, yeah, you got minions in there. They don't even, guys, who cares about the left side Phoenix? Just go kill the time. They got time. They're not stressing about it. They're going to feel fine about this. Yeah, walking in, that is exactly the kind of play that you want to see from, although I will still call it out, sloppy at the end if you think about the way that they're engaged. I mean, you've got a nice